Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you all doing out there? This is Tim coming at you with a first look of Foretales. And actually, it's a first look for you guys because it's something I've already been playing. But I don't want to go any further in the story, so I'm going to start Foretales over and start it from the beginning and talk about it and share about it, this game with you guys. Because there's some spoilers. Although there's many different routes you can take in this game, but I don't want to spoil anything other than maybe at the beginning here, a few things here at the beginning. I want to show you some of the gameplay and talk about a little bit of the story and the characters and what I've learned so far, and then you guys can go from there. So, but also while we're looking at all of these great developers and companies that work to bring this game out, I want to give a shout out to the developer, Alchemy, and the publisher, Dear Villagers, for giving us a review code of this game and for me to share it with you guys. So, if it wasn't for these type of companies doing this, there's so many games that are brought out, we wouldn't be able to share this stuff with you guys, and we might miss some good stuff out there. Or you might miss some stuff, or you may be thankful that you got to see it and decide that it's not for you. So, a couple things that I wanted to point out as I get things started here. Get the game. All right, here we go. All right, as you can see, I have my file there going. I just ended it probably about, let's see, it says at 12:11 a.m. Yes, it's after midnight right now, but I want to get this video done and out here so you guys can see it, because this game dropped on September 15th, 2022. So it's out there for you all to get. It's out there on Steam, and I'm playing it on the Nintendo Switch. So a couple great places to play. Keep in mind that if you do get it on the Nintendo Switch, it is $20 right now in the eShop. But add it to your wish list if you don't have the $20 right now. Maybe you can, when you do and you decide you want to get it, you can pick it up when you're ready. Or if there's a sale that happens to entice you even more, then you'll have it on your wish list. But as I was saying too, one of the things that I wanted to call out here for the Nintendo Switch is that you can only play this on the TV and in handheld mode. It says you cannot play it in tabletop mode. Interestingly enough, if I can say the word, the eShop does say you cannot play this in handheld mode. I've played it up to this point in handheld mode, so it wasn't until this point I've been playing it here on my docked and streaming here. So, so probably something they need to update there. With that said, again, it's $20. It is a board game adventure game, and it's 1.1 gigabytes of space there. So wanted to get that information out there, and again, thanks to those developers for giving us, and the publisher for giving us a review code. All right, so I've been hanging out here long enough. Let's start it out. Start the game here, fresh and brand new, so we can get through this. I may not be able to get through this whole region with you guys, but again, I don't want to spoil things, and hopefully I can help you guys out by telling you what I've learned so far, but also show you the major gameplay elements of the game, because I don't think there's any videos unless you watch somebody's video who's played it. So, all right, so the first things first. The first region is a tutorial. You get to go through and you learn how to use the cards you get and how to play the game. And to point out, one of the other things they call this is the title, it says, a card-based narrative journey. So, and I overlooked that when I was asked if I wanted to take a look at this and share it with you all. And I just thought it was a card-based game. I didn't even realize how this game would play out. And I'll tell you guys right now, you don't have to wait till the end. I'm really enjoying what I've played so far in the first region. And basically the game is broken down by regions, and you basically can do certain things get things reset, I should say, by when you start regions, go to different regions, or maybe it's like almost like chapters or levels. So welcome to the Foretales, an adventure game where you progress by combining cards and exploring decks. So these are my characters. This is it, Volpain. So this tiger is one character, and he's talking to the I want to say raven, but it's not a raven. It's something else. He's another type of bird that looks like a raven, but he's not a raven. And we'll hear it in the story, or we'll see it in the story. Our last job and our days of stealing apples from the market are behind us. That's what you said the last time. So who is this contact of yours? His name's Timothy. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, did they take my name from the system, and are they using my name as a character? It's possible, for all I know. It could be, but I think it's actually a character's name in the game. So, and just coincidence. He says he has work for people like us. So, and you sure can, and you are sure he can pay, because I could really do with the money right now. Don't worry, he promised a hefty reward. Should be more than enough to help your father and the miners with their strike, and for me to take an early retirement. He's just a little difficult to track down in town sometimes. We'd better ask around.
He looks like a good place to start.
So if you all hear that voice there, that is actually the narrator is Travis William Ham. Jeez, I can't talk. Travis Willingham. Travis Willingham. There we go. Instead of me looking at it over here, I'll just try to say it. He's an American actor and voice actor, and most notable roles include Roy Mustang in Full Metal Alchemist franchise, Portgas D Ace in One Piece, Ginkgo and Mushishi, Knuckles the Actina and Sonic the Hedgehog It's Knuckles in the Hedgehog franchise, and Thor in several Marvel projects. Okay, geez. So, and I can't pronounce that, I guess, where Knuckles is from. So, anyways, lots of credit to Travis there. And if you're all familiar with him, then you'll be happy to hear that he's doing that. Also, the music that's playing is from Christopher Harrell, who's done things for Ubisoft, like Beyond Good and Evil, The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn, Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends, and Beyond Good and Evil 2. So lots of credits there as well for Christoph. My apologies there. So lots of talent behind here, as well as of course, artistic direction. I love it. Kind of gives it a Disney feel to me. Maybe that's the direction they wanted, but I'm not sure if that's one they wanted, but that's what I'm getting out of it. But let's get to it. So I'm talking to the person I needed to meet. We're looking for someone by the name of Timothy. I see. A very secretive fellow is he. I think I heard something about him the other day, but sadly, my memory isn't what it once was. Right. What might jog your memory, I wonder? A bite to eat usually does the trick. About 5 should be sufficient. That's enough to last a few days. Or 5, that's enough to last a few days. Ignore my friend. We'll come back with some food for you. We already have 1, just 4 to go. A typical region of this game is composed of 3 to 6 location cards placed on the board. You can learn more by hovering your cursor over the card. Okay, so the location cards, as you can see in the center there. Right now I've got 3. And that's where I'm going to be traveling through the locations of the region. Sometimes pressing A on the cards will trigger dialogue on a reaction from your characters. Try it out for yourself. On the left card with the beggar, he will remind you of what he wants. Alright, so right now I'm navigating through the cards here, and there's my finger in the center over one of the locations, which is Marketplace in this region. So I'm going to move over. I've got an icon for talking to the beggar. Would you spare a morsel of food for an old beggar? I wouldn't call 5 a morsel. This is demanding work for an old man like me. Oh, he's an old man, so. This is demanding work for an old man like me. I'd like to see you try it. Let's have fun with this, right? Yeah, you'll get your food all right. You have 2 types of action cards at your disposal. Skill cards are your adventurers, so are your adventurers. So the skill cards are on the left. Using the left shoulder button, I can access them. And then I have consumables on the right, using the right shoulder button to access those, quickly toggling between the 2 sets. You can also use the cursor to move slowly between everything if you want. But the L and R has definitely come in handy for me. Targets will often be location cards, but not always. When you hover over one of your cards, the possible targets are highlighted, along with hints as to what will happen if you play there. So pay attention to what is highlighted and where the hints appear. Conversely, if you place your cursor over elements of the board, it will highlight the action cards you can play there. Take a moment to explore your current cards and see if you can figure out a way to find enough food to proceed. Alright, so here I'm hovering over one of my cards on the right side here. I forget what kind of cards they call these again already. But I can either use this as my money, and it looks like there's like a letter F next to it, the number, where I'm highlighted over here. The location cards and character cards also indicate how much I need to either pay off that person or pay that location to get something out of it. And below the amount will tell you what I will get out of it. So, for example, where the X button is there, when I need to get to that location, I just hit the X button and then my cursor will automatically jump to that area. I can then, so for example, if I go up here, I can move over, and here I'm in the marketplace. So, and then I hit R, I'm back here where my money is. And the money says, okay, I can use the money card to either go to the marketplace, or I can go to a merchant in the marketplace, which is that character to the right of the marketplace. So y'all didn't know this was going to be a tutorial for y'all, did you? But I want to explain this so you guys understand the mechanics a little bit, and you can decide if you want to play it a little bit further and understand what I'm going to be doing later, I guess. So it's first look and kind of a tutorial to get you into it right away when you guys decide to play, and if you do decide to play. Anyways, back to it. I can pay an 1 F, whatever, I forget what the name of it is. Maybe it says it in the thing. Buys forgiveness for lost souls. Okay, it doesn't say what the name of it is, but it's currency is F. So I can spend 1 in the marketplace and I'll get 2 notches on my food card here, which you can see there. 2 notches underneath that -1 F. And then I move forward. That's what the paw prints means. I can move forward through that location. Or I can use it for that merchant next to him. I can pay all of my money and what I have left and get 2 pieces of food. And then still move forward. So I can also keep going through here, and then I see I have 1 thing of food. I can't give it to the beggar yet because I need 5. I also have fame, which I can use towards people who accept it, like the merchant, which means, hey, they know me, they know my good deeds, and they're going to help me along. And of course, I could just murder people and just take what they have. This one is not one, and again, you have choices. So I can't use it here because I don't have enough anyways. I would need to have 2. But you have the choice throughout this game to kill opponents or try to negotiate with them with money or food or reputation or fame. So, and one of the things it's taught me at the beginning of the tutorial is all your choices have consequences, and you leaving bodies everywhere will have a more heavy consequence, from what I understand. So, all right. So here, I'm going to. We'll get to the rest deck in a minute. So go back to this, and I'm going to pick. Let's buy from the market. I'm going to use 1 coin here.
Oh, I hope you're going to wash that before you eat it.
And get that there. One very important rule to remember: you can only play 1 card per location. Location card on the board. Okay, so you can only play 1 card per location card on the board. All right, so as you saw, I used the 1 card and it moved the card away and put it back into the deck, and it cycles that deck. So I could run into that same card again later on. There's no discard pile, essentially. Sometimes it will transform the target card into another card, but most of the time it will just consume it and travel to the next card. That's what those paw prints mean, is the travel. A standard used card from the board will go back to the bottom of the exploration deck, and once a slot is available, it will automatically be filled with the top card from the exploration deck. You can't run out of location cards to explore because the exploration deck always cycles. Alright, so now we're back to here. Let me go back to... We got the poor district, and the population here are in dire need of help, but can also offer assistance if they're asked nicely. Alright. So one of the cards I could use, I think here, if I have it, is a rallying cry. I can use this to gain 1 more thing of fame, and they'll all come around, but I may have to pay them too because they're all around. I might... Well, let's see. I'll use that. So I'm going to use fame. Over here, I'm using one of my cards, which is a cost to my character. So you see the number 9 in my character center there on the tiger. That means I've used up... I have 9 cards in my skill deck, and I've used 1. I think I had 10 to begin with. So I called the crowd. Oh no, I had 9 and I moved on to 8. Sorry, my bad. So I used one of my skill cards, and I had 8 for that character and 7 for another one. Alright, so now that I have that, I could pay them more, so I need 2F for that. But I don't have any money right now. Well, I have 1. So I may not want to use that yet. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get 2 more food. Let's use this to get 2 more of the food. And I can't remember if this is exactly the same route I went. It might be a variation of it. So they give us a free sample because we have fame.
Oh, those are quite delicious when sauteed with a little honey. And if... No, you're right. We don't have time.
I love the narration. It's always got some funny stuff too. Okay, I think we've got enough now. So we got enough there. Let's see what this guy knows. So lead the way. All right, so we've got that. I can, again, I can pay some money to... Let's see, what do I get out of this? I have to do one of those and... Wait a minute. Let's go back up here. So here, I got the old well, and I can use skill cards here as well. As you see on the left, I have skill cards that I can use. So I'm going to go over here and let's see what skill cards I have. Solidarity, I could use this. Nope, can't use it there. I could get some more food and fame if I sneak in there and travel. Or I can use this. to get 1 coin. I don't want to get coin from those poor. I don't want to kill them either. Jeez, man, that's ruthless. All right, so none of these will give me more money from the well unless I go to here. Let's do this. Let's try to see if I can get some food and some gold out of this. This looks like a good spot to refill our canteen. I got an extra thing of food. Ooh, shiny. So I got a little bit more money out of that. Oh, I did get more money. Duh.
I don't know what you did to wind them up, but they look mad.
So now here's where I got some people that I could end up fighting. So I have 6 people there, or 6 enemies there that I could go through and try to see if I can negotiate with or get rid of. Actually, they're not 6, but they're what is it? What do they call it? We'll see in a minute, but I think their power is totaled 6. So it doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be 6 of them. It's just their power is a total of 6. For lack of a better term, I think they might use a different term. If you press A on the token, you can see the creatures forming the group and decide whether to engage or not. All right, so hey, let's go take a look at them. Most confrontations start with a negotiation phase. If you have the correct resources, you might be able to discard this threat without any violence. But if you don't absolutely need to play a card here, you may as well avoid any conflict and play on the other cards available. All right, so we got 2 things of money. I am going to spend it because I want to use it on the poor. I'm going to give them money and we're going to get 4 fame, which I believe could come in handy later.
Heartwarming stuff.
Yes, it is. Thank you, sir. All right, so now here, again, let's go up to here. We can go to the beggar because we got enough food. We can go to the noisy tavern. I can use my skills there. And we can also get some rest. And then also I can check out these bandits. You know, let's show off the bandits here. So yeah, here's 3 of them. Their power, whatever that red number is at the bottom, which they'll probably go over in a minute, is total of 6. Actually, it's 7. So is it something else? Must be the top number in the left corner. Okay. Can't see it right now, but I think it's 321, so that would be 6. Let's find out what it says. So this one is the brawler, this one's the street thug, and this is the henchman. So we can engage or we can step away. Let's step away for now. I wish I could remember what that top number was. Let's see now. Do I have any notes here what that is? I probably do in my screenshots. All right, well, I'm sure we'll come to it in a minute. All right, so let's give... You know what, let's see if we can get anything. If I go to the tavern, we can rest there, or I can end up going... I can get some more food and an ability and walk through. I can just do the further step I need to do there. Eavesdrop. I might do that one. I don't want to kill people there. I could call and get more of the fame. Let's do that. Fame's been coming in handy. So let's do that. So, all right. Leo's mighty roar drew a crowd of curious sound folk. All right. Well, I can't pay them off. I can give them some food because everybody wants food, and then get more fame. But then I would be out of food. You know what? Let's do this. We'll give them the food.
Well, how very altruistic.
Oh, thank you. And get 2 more. Back to the marketplace. All right, let's get this food thing over with and give it to this guy. Oh, thank you, young. Oh, thank you, young bird. Now about this Timothy chap. But of course, Where are my manners? Here, follow this path. I don't know what kind
Show
I don't
the
know.
way.
I'm not trying to do a
Heartwarming stuff.
I'm not trying to do an accent. It's just how it came out. Thanks for the tip, friend. A good day to you, bird. Well, what now? I suppose we should follow the old beggar's directions on that piece of paper. Sometimes you'll have to seek directions to progress in a story, reach new destinations, check the description on your cards. So let's check it out. That's a piece of paper. Yes, that one.
Something told Volpan that these chaps weren't here to talk.
All right. Let's check it out. We can use that here.
You'll never cease to amaze me, Volpan.
And here we are. A heavily bandaged figure stood alone in the alleyway. He looked like he was waiting for someone. As Valapane and Leo approached, the figure turned to greet them. Ah, Leo, so you're finally here, and you brought a crow. Here we go. I'm a shoebill. A shoebill. That's what it is, a shoebill, not a raven or crow. But of course you are. We heard you have work. Do I ever? But before we get down to brass tacks, I always like to get an understanding of who it is I'm working with. What do you mean? I'd like a demonstration of the value you bring to this operation. Demonstration? Yes, you know, skills, my boys. Show me your skills. The pair looked at each other perplexed. What did he mean, skills? Skills in combat, sleight of hand, or maybe just a good old trick shot from Leo. Alright, so let's check it out. He doesn't want anything there. Oh, right away. I went over to the skills. That's what he's looking for. Nimble hands. And it gives me the exclamation point there of what it'll do next. Let's use that. What if I were to steal your purse right from under your nose? That would be impressive, especially as you just warned me you were about to. Hold on a minute. With a wry smile, Volpane produced a finely embroidered purse full of gold. The masked figure was taken aback. Very impressed indeed. Here you go, all present and correct. I'll tell you what, keep it. Consider that your first payment. So there, we got all our money back. Ooh, thanks very much. Now then, perhaps you'd like to tell us what it was you needed. I would like for the two of you to acquire an item for me, an instrument, in fact. A very rare and beautiful lyre. Lyre? That is currently in the possession of esteemed Lady Cattell. You mean the old bat who lives at the hill? I wouldn't call her that to her face, but yes, that's her. I'd like you to break into her manor, steal the lyre, and bring it to me at the Holy Grove. The Holy Grove? I know the place well. I'll get you there myself, Opane. Oh, that was the wrong voice. He was supposed to be a little deeper. Excellent, then. I shall leave you to it. I look forward to our next meeting. All right, we've got a job to do. This is fun. At long last. We can get straight to it if you think we're ready to go. Or we could spend some more time on the streets to prepare. It's your call. Actually, how about a small nap before we set off? You read my mind. Remember, you only have a limited number of skill cards cards in your adventure's deck. Spending too many of their skill cards will tire them out. So I had 9 for the tiger, and I think it was 7 for the shoebill. So I've been using some of those skills, and it's going to tell me I can rest. If you want to recover some skill cards, you'll have to use rest cards on the right-hand side of the board. Each rest card has its own set of effects and sometimes a price that you can decide to pay or not. Read them carefully to see what they cost. Go on, press A on the rest deck and try to use the first rest cards. All right. So before I use the rest cards, let's let's take a look at them first. We'll go to the ZR button, rest deck, browse, and see the first one is basically nothing to pay. An uneventful stop, recover up to 3 skill cards per adventurer. So I get 3 more per adventurer. From there, if I use it up and need to use more, I would have to spend some money to recover 3 of those cards, or 2 health points to recover some cards. Or there's Hopeless. Volplane had wasted the precious time he had, but perhaps things could have turned out differently. So basically that's the end if I used up those 2 cards. I think that tells me that there too. Or it will. So, wait, let's go back here. Maybe it says rest cards can be used to recover some skill cards for your adventures. Even if you can see all rest cards for the region, you can only use the top card of the deck. Don't dawdle too much because the last rest card is always a synonym of game over. So, as it said. Oh, I didn't want to go in there. All right. So, one thing I can do is, again, use one of these cards. I can get 3 back from the tiger and get 3 back and get, I think he had 7. The show bill had 7. So I'm trying to see, let's have a little fun. Let's go back up to here, and I want to show you guys how this turns out. Let's engage.
I'm sure they could be convinced to walk away for the right price.
Correct. You've started your first confrontation, but maybe there's no need for violence. When you hover over cards at your disposal, you may discover ways to get rid of some of your opponents. If you get rid of enough opponents, you'll bring the morale of the group down to 0 and the rest will flee. If you use an aggressive card, the confrontation will automatically turn into a fight. But if you don't have any cards to play, or you don't want to play any cards, A on the auto battle token to press A on the auto battle token to trigger the fight manually. All right, so we can use the skill cards, but I also can use the other cards on the right side to pay them off with food if I had food. I have fame. I could use my fame to get through the battle and get rid of some of these people. Or I have a grim card where it will automatically dispose of one of them without losing anything. So if I use fame, I'll lose half of it on one of them, and then another half of that for a second one. What I could do is half there and then maybe kill the other one. But again, if I kill them, then it goes to that middle discard pile there that we haven't added but yet to. And again, leaving bodies around in the game has its consequences. I haven't learned what those are yet, but I will be willing to show you guys what happens here. So I can also pay them off. So I have some money. So there, I could do that without killing anybody. So it actually might be kind of cheaper to do this. So if I pay off, I wonder what would happen if I pay off the cheaper ones. Consume 2 gold, corrupt. Let's pay.
Very sensible of you.
An enemy was just removed from the confrontation. In most cases, this will subtract its level from the enemy's morale. I wonder where that level is. So is that under the... No, that said 3. 3 is the... look like the sword. Let's find out. Should the enemy morale reach 0, the remaining hostiles will flee. The level of the enemy is the number on the top left. The level of an enemy is the number on the top left corner of the card. Okay, there we go. So the top left corner, that's the level of the enemy. So, and I think I took a screenshot of that before. So we have that. That brought up the options there. Their morale is down to, or whatever that is. What does that one stand for? I guess we'll find out. But we haven't used anything else here. Let's go to paying 1. Let's pay the 1. Take that one away. Now it's down to 0. Okay, there we go. So I brought it. That was the morale token. Okay, you've brought the enemy morale to 0. All remaining hostiles will now flee for their lives. When you trigger a panic, each fleeing enemy will grant you 1 fame, whatever their level. Sweet.
Fails, run away.
Now I got 9 fame. All right. So now we got that cleared. And we didn't have to use any skill cards. Or we used 1, I think. Yeah, so because we're down to 5. We lost 2 there. We lost 2 from the shoe bill. We lost 2 on them. So, all right. So I got to show you that. I didn't show you the Grim thing. So let's see what we got here. We got 3, 2, 1 here as well. Let's engage because I want to use the Grim thing so you guys can see what happens there. What's the morale at? 3.
And you might walk away from this richer.
All right, so let's do this. So we can use the Grim feature on the cheaper guy, but let's do it.
Ah, yes, the benefits of a bad reputation.
So, all right, so when I got the bad reputation, all right, so it did not go to that discard pile because I got the bad reputation there. My bad. So the Grim thing is basically the bad reputation part, and then the fame is the good reputation part. So that will guarantees respect among outlaws. It makes law-abiding citizens to quake in their boots. All right, so yeah. So I got rid of that one. If I kill people, I think I get more of the Grim card, if I remember correctly. So, all right. So now if I pay off another one, it will remove... I missed what that was at the beginning. So that's what that little number was. I think it reduces it enough. We can pay this one off 2, and that will leave me 1 coin.
Well, that was easy. Oh, not so tough now, are we?
So I didn't have to kill it. Well, I used Grim to kill one, I guess. I didn't have to use my skill card to do it. All right. So now that we've done that, let's go over to the rest deck and use the rest. Again, this one was free. This one's free. Doesn't cost anything, but future ones will cost something. And I think that's what's going to pop up in a second to tell us.
Wake up, sleepyhead. The world's
Feeling
still
better
ending,
already.
in case you forgot.
You recovered some skill cards and suffered no other consequences. Don't expect it to be that easy all the time. The next card in the deck will cost you food or health points. And the last card of the rest of the deck is always a game over, so be sure to check out how many times you can hope to rest in a region. Once you move on to the next region, the rest deck will be replaced with a new set of cards. And the number of rest cards in the next region is independent of how many you've used. You have completed this region. You can either proceed to the next region, or you might want to spend some more time here to gather resources. So with that, we've done this region. Let me show you a couple other things, hopefully without spoiling anything, but I do want to share this with you so you can see where this goes. And you can see I took a lot of various screenshots. Again, I'm going to try to share this with you without spoiling much. But at this point, if you need to bail, I understand. But please don't forget to like and share the video. with anybody else who you think would be interested in this game. Let's see, when do I get to that next region? Trying to see when I got to the rest. Let's just go here. Nope, that's way at the beginning. We got through all that. All right, so I'm scrolling through to see things this is basically from my first game. You guys will see what happens here. I think I attack these guys because I was learning still.
All right. Who wants a taste?
So, and this was a mistake I made too. I was thinking I could use a skill card without engaging battle, but this actually engaged battle, so then I ended up having to kill them anyways. So, here's, you guys get to see some of the skill cards that I used here. So, like peppery, I used the peppery thing to confuse them, which gives me an extra ability to play another card. Oh, I think they got rid of them. Yep, so I killed one, and that's where I was trying to show you right there. When I killed him, that character ends up in the discard pile, but again, that ends up being could be a consequence later, a penalty I'll have to pay later.
Oh well, bye-bye.
So that one, and then one runs off. So, all right. So I got to show you that one there. Let's see. Got to him later. Oh, there's a recovery thing. So let's see. That means I should be done with this region. Beware, consumables and resources are carried over from either region. Okay, so yeah, I took a screenshot of that. Region complete. So there we go. I finished that region, and then this is the new region. So there are several hostile creatures in the search party. The deck of the cards representing the animals chasing your party. So this is another feature where we saw it a little bit on the other one. There was an eye on there, but basically that eye ends up spawning a group of enemies from the search party. Not always, but most of the time. Haven't figured out when it does, if it does trigger or not. I also was able to run into, in this particular region, I was able to get help from gardeners, which you can see in the last spot here, the patrolled gardener. I can gain that card and ask for their help to help me through this particular location. I have to pay them, like pay them some food or some money or whatever to do it, but in this case they were added to my deck, but in other cases when I meet them along the way, then I have to pay them. Alright, so I can use the gardener to help me get through one of these locations. So I'll use it here. So I got a map. Okay, let's see with this one.
Here comes trouble.
All right, so that had 9. I didn't. There they are, right there.
What's it going to cost?
So and this is another feature here where it's on the cards. There's an extra ability on some of those creatures. And this, for example, is let me pause it here. Right in the center of the screen, there's a bear who's ringing a bell. It has a number 2 in the upper left corner there. Right below that number 2 is a bear paw. basically that bear's ability is to call other characters into the battle. So that sucks. All right, let's see. Let's go on to the next thing.
Resonating, vibrating, clashing.
Did I get that in this one? All right.
Resonating, vibrating, clashing.
All right. So, without spoiling anything, at the end of this last section that we briefly went over, you get the instrument you need, and then basically the shoe bill has a vision. And this is where the game gets really interesting, and when this is where this has got me pulled in. The story again, the story about this. It's basically I am seeing multiverse here, and I can see all these different scenarios and play them out and use time to go through it. Is what I got out of it. So basically the world is doomed. There's a dark prophecy. And I need to figure out how to navigate through these pathways to save the world and save my companions. So that's what's got me excited. The narrative about this, and not only that, but I love card games. I love Magic the Gathering. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I played Pokemon. I love those type of trading card games. So this has some of that element, but it also has storytelling elements to where I'm using the cards to help tell the story. And I'm also using the cards to get through paths, kind of like your Slay the Spire games or your Dicey Dungeons, where you're kind of going through these paths by what you do through the columns of cards. For the lack of better terms, I apologize. But I really highly recommend this if you're into these type of games, especially story-driven type of games where who knows where the narrative can go, and it's also kind of like based on your choices. So I'm gonna keep playing this. I'm looking forward to talk about it more with the other Nintendo dads. I'll be talking more about it in our podcast. But before I let you go, let me read off 8 things, tips and tricks that I was given that I want to pass on to you from the publisher, Dear Villagers. So, number 1, the game usually doesn't let you completely waste a card, so don't be afraid to experiment, which I did in my first run of that first region there that you guys saw. 2, killing a lot of people has consequences. Not every confrontation has to finish in bloodbath. Number 3, do not forget that you can trade one of your skill cards for another in your deck or even in your discard pile. That's something I still have to learn to do. Number 4, you can't trade cards during confrontations, so prepare your hand of skills before. So before you go into the confrontation, do that trading, and I have to, again, remember that. Number 5, do not forget to rest. Resting will allow you to recover skill cards in your hand. So we saw that. Number 6, they highly recommend a keyboard and mouse, but the Switch is doing very well, I think. So I'm enjoying playing on it. Number 7, we recommend that you make several runs in order to experience different choices and discover different chapters. So there you have that. You can do that. There's replay value there. And something I'm not quite clear on is maybe I can go back through, because I did see that I completed that later on. In fact, let me go here. If I show it.
Resonate. Swallowed.
Nope, I don't have it there. There it is. Let me pause it. All right, so this is where my choices are. This is where I can make paths and where I want to go. And the one with the show bill there with the check mark on the ribbon, on the purple ribbon, that's the one I completed. So I wonder if I can click on that to continue to redo that run and see if anything changes. So I'll have to give that a try. Number 8, the final one, even the smallest choice can have the biggest impact on your journey through Foretales. The trick to understanding the game flow is that your actions essentially boil down to just one rule, that each card plus location combination will have a separate outcome depending on where it's played. So keep that in mind when playing this game if you decide to. And I hope you enjoyed my tutorial and what I've learned from this game, and also just sharing my first impressions of it. Again, this is Tim with the Nintendo Dads, and I thank you for stopping by. Check you later. I'm going to get back to playing.